Okay. For the level, our learning material will be level 4 to 5 according to the EQF standards.
Is your question, Andreas?
Elmo, what is your opinion? We have to produce learning material according to level 4 to level 5 of EQF standards.
For me, according to me, it's a level 4. Level 5 is for management. But we can decide together according to the target groups. We have 2 target groups. One is for the trainers, one target group are the trainers, one target group are the volunteers with some experience. So volunteers with some experience are at the level 4 basically, and the trainers are at level 5. But you can check very carefully in Google, in internet, EQF, European Qualification Framework, so we can read the level 4 and level 5, all of us, and then we can decide together.
Okay.
Question. Okay, with
In sorry?
Okay, Andrea.
Okay. In our application, we suggested 5 modules. The first module was the identification of the skills of the volunteers, the legal status of volunteer fire protection in each country, and the status of incentives to attract volunteers. I think we can divide it in 3 parts. The first one is the identification of the skills of the volunteers, and we can create an introduction about all the skills and the competencies that is needed for a volunteer in fire protection.
Sorry, Andreas, may I interrupt?
Yes, yes, of course.
Yes, I mean, you know, during the application, our organization is the leading partner of this intellectual output one, and we supposed to create a framework to all partners in order to catch the like the uniqueness for the modules. But in terms of the first module, if we divide it into 3 units, this will be really long. And this is, I mean, this project is like taking care for the specific target group. So if we prepare such a long module, it will be really hard to catch their attention. So maybe rather than dividing the first module under 3 units, maybe like we cannot include the legal status here, but we can include the legal status under module 2 because the second module is related with the legal framework. But it is only our suggestion. It really depends on your.
Yes, as you can see, Sheree, we have the same idea. We propose to delete this topic, the legal status, and move it to the next module, module 2, where there is the same one topic.
Okay.
And also the status of incentives to attract volunteers, we suggest to move it in the end as an appendix, because here we can write some innovative ways to attract volunteers, and this topic is for the organizations, not for the volunteers. If you want to keep, if we can decide if we can keep this topic, I think we think it's better to move it in the end of the educational material.
Yes, that will be really good. And also, if we are sharing such kind of appendices, we may decide together, do we need to translate them in the partner languages, or should we keep them in only in English?
What is, excuse me, all this material is going to be online. What is an appendix? We are thinking about the modules, to develop modules with training content. If you want to put an appendix, what is that going to be? Another module? What is going to be? Plus another question. Sorry to interrupt if I can. We have indicated these modules into the application form because we had the general idea about the training modules during application preparation. But nevertheless, an international report and the competence map in IO1. What is the influence of the IO1 into these IO2 modules? Which competencies and learning outcomes are coming basically or suggested from the module, from the IO1? This part is still missing. So it is clear that we have suggested 5 modules in the application form. But now we have to make sure that we want to design the same 5 modules after having finished with the IO1. Is there any changes? Is there any influence from IO1 in terms of international report and in terms of competence map? How those 2 products, how those 2 outcomes basically will influence the IO2? I don't want an answer. It's just a consideration. You understand?
Yes, and
Because
it's very logical.
Because in the conclusion of the international report, there is no suggestion. In the competence map is not coming from the international report, but the competence map is coming from the IO2, which is the reverse process. The IO2 should be built on top of the competence map. But I believe the survey and the competence map, yet they are not able to suggest us what are the needs for the target groups. What are the modules needed? So because we don't have an answer to that, we go back to the application form and we try to develop the modules we promised in the application form. But before proceeding, we have to reflect. We have to ask ourselves, what was the lesson from IO1? What is IO1 suggesting us to develop? At what level? Which training module we have to develop? Do we still have to develop the same 5 modules or maybe something different? This is the question.
So,
Because otherwise there is no point to develop IO1.
Yes.
Why spending the money to develop IO1 if there is no learning?
and
I'm afraid, not for me or for you. I'm afraid
Yes,
from,
yes,
from the national agency. From the national agency, when they go to evaluate and they say, what is coming in IO2 from IO1? What is the suggestions and the competence map driving IO2? So this is a consideration. We are just brainstorming. I'm not criticizing. You understand?
Elmo, maybe we can find the link between IO1 and IO2 by saying that although at the beginning of the, during the application process, we suggested like 5 modules, we decided to reshape the structure of the modules and the title of the module. So we know that it is really necessary to identify the skills of volunteers. And also from the competence map, we know that every like volunteers in countries has to know their legal status. And also from the Turkish,
I lost the connection.
sorry?
Yes. Elmo. Okay,
Elmo?
we lost Elmo. Okay, Serey, you can continue, please.
Yes, I think it is not really, the EO1 is really good to collect some ideas because we did the EO1 and then the outcomes of EO1 will be used for the IO2. So I think we can do this kind of things. And we can mention that the outcomes, the results of IO1 created the structure of the modules and the type of the title of the modules maybe.
So we can delete this topic. And
no, I think the topic of IO1 is not bad. We can keep it, but like the identification of the skills of volunteers. So we can define what kind of skills we need to define someone as volunteer.
Exactly. Sorry, I lost the
yes,
connection for
but
the last minute.
okay, Elmo, but Serey, Elmo was talking about 1.3, the status of incentives to attract volunteers.
No,
Yes,
no,
I think
not only
we
that.
can read that topic.
I was talking in general. From the international report should come out some suggestions about the competencies needed for the target groups. I don't see that in the conclusion of the international report. And from that conclusion, to develop a competence map, or describing a competence map to be a little bit different or maybe the same for the 5 modules we have already contemplated in IO2. But we have to find, like Gerai was saying, some kind of justification, because to me, I was reading very carefully the international report and the competence map. They are very far away from IO2. The international report, all the competencies are needed, from the communication, from being athletic, from being physical fit. None of this is coming into the modules, basically. So how do we justify all those needs, basically, which therefore we are not going to develop in module 1 and module 5?
Yes. So let's have a look in all modules.
Yeah.
And decide later
Yes, I think it's better to
about
prepare all of
what
them.
we can we can do with them.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Maybe like Gerai has a good idea. We need to justify, just to create a connection between the international report and the competence map and the IO2, saying that in effect everything is the same. So with the international report, we've been able to prove that what is needed are the 5 modules we promised already. So therefore, we're going to develop those 5 modules.
Yes,
But
Elmo, maybe at the end of the EO1 under the report, we can add a short paragraph and we can say that according to the results of the competence map from the countries, the partners of the project found the gap, and this gap will be filled with the following outputs. So we can say that the EO1's aim is showing the gap, and the EO2 will fill that gap by the following modules. So I think we can add a short paragraph. What is the gap identified by the competence map analysis, and how the second output will fill that gap by the following modules. So maybe, and also it will be a good to write the gaps under the bullet points, and we can say that all modules will correspondent with this gap. So for instance, maybe the problem is related with the skills of the volunteers. So the first module will identify and reintroduce the skills to the volunteers. Then second module is related with that the volunteers don't feel comfortable themselves in such environment because of the legal statutes. So the second module will define the legal statutes of the volunteers and so on. So I think
just a second, Gerai. Yes, I agree. So maybe in this table I see at the present moment, the competence map, we can write another column, one column on the right, where we put down the skills and the competencies needed from the international report. So in module 1 is going to cover the following competencies and skills suggested in the international report.
okay.
For example, and the module 2 is going to cover the following skills and competencies. And then when we know the skills and the competencies, we're going to, I think it's column number 3 from the left, the learning outcomes. We need the learning outcomes. So
Elmo, sorry, 1 minute sorry for the interruption. In the last column, you can see with blue letters the skills and the competencies from the international report. For example, in module 2, in the first topic, extinguishment, we can relate this topic with the need, with the skill, dexterity in handling machines and manual tools.
correct, but this is not the competencies, Andreas. I fully agree with you. Maybe we can create an extra column. That column is for the competencies to be developed. And in the next column, if you put down another column on the right, you can put down the, just a second, is number 20, for example, extinguishing and what is it? It's difficult to read. In handling machines and manual tools. Yes, you should put down in another column. I agree with you. Yes, this is good.
It's easy. For the moment, let it this way, and after our meeting, I can add one last column with the skills coming from the international report, and all these material with blue letters will be removed to the new column.
You should, Andreas, you should document, this is good work, you should document in an extra chapter in the international report, you should document in the way you're going to build. Because of this, you pick up the first 20 items, I believe from 1 to 20 from the international report in terms of priorities. And you should say that you're going to implement those one into the competence map, which is basically going to be created also as part of the IO1. So this is okay. Already we see the link. See, this is good. Now, another question.
Okay.
Another consideration. Another consideration. In module 2, I can see 3 units. Gerai was mentioning before, why 3 units, why 1 unit, and so on. We should create 1 unit for each learning outcome. So in module 2, how many learning outcomes do we have? I don't know, maybe 3. I can see 3 here. So for each learning outcome, we should create 1 unit of learning. So like in the case of module 2, we have 3 learning outcomes in column 3. Therefore, in column 2, we have 3 learning units.
And Elmo, just sorry to interrupt, but sometimes, yes, you are right. The units, the number of the units should be really in line with the number of the learning outcomes. But sometimes the learning outcomes, we may divide the learning outcomes into 2 different numbers, but sometimes the modules are overlapping, the content is overlapping with each other. So maybe we shouldn't have more units than the learning outcomes, but we may have less unit numbers than the learning outcomes. Maybe 3 learning outcomes, but 2 units will be enough.
No, excuse me. This is another issue. What you're talking about is about developing the same topic in different modules. We should not have that. If we design different topics for each module, different modules, then we have different learning outcomes. So it's like saying the learning outcomes of module 3 are different from the learning outcomes from module 4. So if the learning outcomes are different, then the consideration is the following.
No, I'm trying to say, for instance, we have 2 learning outcomes for module 1, okay? But
no, we have module 2. Let's consider module 2.
Okay, so we have 3 learning outcomes for module 2, but I think it is possible to encapsulate all these 3 learning outcomes with 1 unit, 1 general module.
It is possible unless you design 60 slides. But I'm not overlapping. So I'm not overlapping. So what I'm saying, can we see the slide again?
We lost the
I think Andreas left, so that's why.
He will come, I think.
So it's like saying if I have 3 slides for learning outcome, for each learning outcome, then I can encapsulate all together in 1 module and then 1 unit.
So
that's because from the technical point of view, we don't want too many slides and not too little slides, not too many slides for each unit. We don't want 3 slides, only 3 slides. We don't want 50 slides in 1 unit of learning. Andreas left.
No, Andreas.
A moment. I can share the file, but a moment to call Andreas. One moment to see what happened.
Okay, but that's okay. We understood. So in 1 module, we develop 1 N units according to the topics we have to develop and according to the learning outcomes. But the competence map table has to be complete with the learning outcomes.
Okay. Andreas, are you okay?
With the all of your learning outcomes.
Yes, sorry for I lost my signal.
Okay.
By the way, this is not Bible, but we have to agree. We have to decide to do it in the same way, all of us, to use the same framework and so on. So, okay, I think we agree on all of this. What Jerai was saying, in column number 3, we have 3 learning outcomes, so 3 units of learning. But if the units are too small, we can encapsulate more than 1 unit together. If they are too big, we have to break it furthermore.
Yes,
Also,
that is exactly what I am trying to say, Elmo. Thank you.
Exactly. So, but it's got nothing to do with overlapping. We should not overlap. Actually, we have to check. The content in module 1 should not overlap the module 2. The module 2 should not overlap module 3 and so on. And then, like we said before with Andreas, if possible to have an extra column here on the right side to put down the mapping with the competencies needed from the international report. I think we wanted to develop from 1 to 20, so we can write down for each unit of learning, we can write down which topics and competencies we are going to cover coming from the international report. So, Andreas, if possible, an extra column would be nice.
Yes, and also I want to add something more. Except for these 20 skills and competencies from the international report, we have some more can you see my screen now? Which are from the open question in the end of the questionnaire. What skills in forest fire prevention would you like to learn further? And we have some very good proposes here, and I write them with a star and a number. For example, the importance of prevention is very good for this topic related to prevention.
Yes, which is module 2.
Yes, in module 2.
So you decide in which module should be implemented the topic. This is a good idea. You have the topic under control, so you decide also in which module to develop that topic, basically.
Mm-hmm. For example, in 2.3, rescue assistance, we have from the international report the 11 first aid, 18 CPR, 20 dexterity in handling machines, and 10 willingness to help fellow human beings. That's the whole idea.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want to continue with the modules?
Yeah, I think it's up to you. You decide, you and Jerai. I just wanted to have this general brainstorming, general discussion to understand what we are doing here in the competence map. So I think you're going to leave the competence map in this way. In the first column, in the right side of the screen, you are not going to write down the competence, but you write down the reference to the international report, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And Andreas, if you provide like not a proper table, but if you provide a table for us, like what is the findings of the competence map, like briefly, and how these competence maps gaps will be related with the modules, we can create, I mean, we can use with this roadmap, and we can maybe restructure some of the contents of the modules.
Exactly. Because this is not the competence.
I can send you this. This file is from the international report, the top 20 of skills, and the proposed skills from the participants, and also this copy with a new column in the end. With appropriate skills and competencies.
Yes, so maybe, I mean, from our experiences, we really saw that if the module content is really big, it will be a really like terrible at the end of the project in terms of translation and reaching the people, taking the attention of the target group. Even if you create a super attractive like content, the people are not really favor of reading all of them. So I want to use Elmo's famous quotation, KISS. So keep it simple and short is probably the motto of this project, because the target group, we know who are them, and they don't want to read all of the materials, even if it's in Turkish or in Italian or in Greek. So
yes, Jerai, but let's be practical.
Yes.
This is not a competence map, because if you go up a little bit on the top, Andreas.
Just go up, Andreas, yes.
Andreas, yes, stop.
Yes.
We are not, at the present moment, we are not
the first page.
Yes, this one. At the present moment, we are not writing down competencies, skills, and knowledge. So this is not a competence map. So this is the first point. The second point, like Jerai said, if you go down a little bit, we're going to check the blue color, the first column.
Yes.
There are a lot of items here, more, yes, more. For example, in 2.3, there are 5 or 6 items. Yes, stop. There are 5 or 6 items. At the present moment, we cannot kiss, like Jerai was saying before, to keep it short. Let's include everything necessary. Then the person responsible for the module 2.3, when you start evaluating, you may decide to disclose and to evaluate saying, this is too big, it becomes too big, so what to drop? You understand, Jerai, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the present moment, it's better to have a lot of information to decide later on what to develop.
Okay.
Because this is direct information coming from the international report. So this is good. The international report is saying that we should include topic 11, what is it, 11, 18, 20, and so on. But when we go to develop, maybe the 2.3 becomes too big, really big. So that's not, if it is the case, then it's not possible. But let's have the first draft of the competence map completed with this extra information. Then we can always say, when we develop the unit 2.3, we can always say that this unit is developing a learning outcome related to 11 and 15, for example, and that's it. For example, you know?
Yes.
Because today we don't know how big it is. We don't know how big they are, the content in terms of first aid, CPR, and
Dexterity in
willingness to
handling machines
exactly.
and the willingness to help fellow human beings.
Handling machines, I think it's a model on its own. It's a very big item.
Yes.
Another consideration. I said before, the competence column, which is the first on the right, the learning outcomes in other projects, we have combined the two, like the two, they are matching, described properly, they're matching. So should we create a competence map only with module, units, and learning outcomes? And then an extra column with the blue topics and that's it. So we remove knowledge and skills and competence. We use only learning outcomes and we use the column for the blue matching of the international report. What do you think? Because the competence is a combination of knowledge and skills. So knowledge plus skills equal competence. The learning outcome is the result of a competence. So what we do, we eliminate all 3 columns and we use only the learning outcomes.
So we can
plus an extra column with the blue, plus an extra column with the blue
yes,
text.
we can delete this.
Also competence. And instead of competence, you can write needed skills from the international report. I don't know, something like that.
Yes, in the next in the new column. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This is my idea. What is the idea of all of you? What is your opinion? Hello.
Sylvia, Daniela, yeah. Do you agree with Elmo's idea?
Yeah, I think I agree with Elmo. But I think it's really hard to edit the competence map now, like over the meeting. I think, I don't know, like I totally agree with the comments and explaining, of course, the idea, but probably Elmo, it's easier for you if you edit the file that Andrea will send you, and then, but it's totally, I really agree with the editing that Elmo said. We discussed it over, like, also the other day together about some stuff, and yeah, definitely we need to I think kind of try to fix some points, but for the rest, yes, I agree.
Okay.
We're not editing the competence map because there is still a lot of work to be done. Now we are discussing the framework, the way we are going to develop. So if we agree on the procedure, in the way we are going to develop, then we have to develop it later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can share after the meeting this file with you to have a look in it.
Yes,
And
Andreas, just one point.
yes,
I mean, we will all for sure mention the main findings of the competence map as one paragraph in order to show that we are like designing the EO2 from the findings of EO1. But also, maybe Elmo, what do you think? We can write a short paragraph for each module, and we can explain the aims and objectives of that module. And then we can briefly mention that this module is prepared based on competency-based learning motivation, and therefore it aims to meet or reach these competences. So maybe the learning outcomes can be in line with the competences as well. So we can create a kind of holistic view for each module, and all of them has the unique shape and structure.
Can I?
Elma?
Yes. Jirai, first of all, we have to define the competence map. The next step as part of IO2 is to design a framework where for each module we are going to describe the aims and the objectives, the external links, the text, the videos, the pictures, the exercises and everything. You know that framework already from other projects.
Yes.
So that is going to be done in the framework we're going to adopt in IO2, but we're still in IO1. Our discussion is part of IO1, where we said, number one, we need an extra chapter at the end of the international report saying that all the needs identified through the international survey are in line with the 5 modules already mentioned in IO2. In fact, we are mapping in blue the competencies needed according to the survey. We are mapping them basically to the modules, module 1 to module 5. Actually, I think someone did some work already, Sylvia, together with Sophia and so on. The modules are not only 5, we'll discuss in a while. The modules are 6. You have identified already most of the module 6. So as soon as all of this is fixed, I cannot fix it because I'm not fully competent about, for example, the module 1 and the module 2, the module 3. I don't know what are the learning outcomes. I think Portugal and Ares here, they are the top expert. We can support naturally in terms of pedagogy, but I need to understand the learning outcome. For example, in module 3 here I see personal protections. So what they learn, what they need to learn about personal protection. That is the learning outcome. So that is like saying, if you, as a student, you go through this module 3, sorry, unit 3.1, you will learn at the end, you will learn on how to use the personal protection. That is the learning outcome. You learn how to use the personal protection. It is an example, I don't know. So we have to write all that. knowing that the learning outcomes basically is very practical and straightforward, we can use also the column for the competence, unless we want to drop the competence, knowledge, and skills completely, and we just use the column for the blue needs we mentioned before. That's one aspect. There is another consideration. We have to use, according to the taxonomy, I sent the file to Andreas, I believe. You can share it with everybody. To understand exactly, all of us, we should understand what is EQF level 4 and 5, and what is how to describe a learning outcome, how to describe a competence, which verbs have to be used. It's a short file I sent to Andreas today. It's only 3 pages, so maybe we should share the 3 pages with all the partners. So when we talk about competences, we know what it is. When we talk about knowledge, we know what it is. Skills, we know what it is. And we know also how to define learning outcome. We should have a common understanding. Otherwise, probably we speak a different language. We just mention learning outcome, but maybe we have a different understanding. So according to that file, all of us, we should have the same understanding. It's just a suggestion, just to not to waste time, okay? Andreas?
Yes, this file is a very good guide on how to write, how to choose the right verb. For example, in the last column where
Can you open the file? Can you open the file?
A little bit difficult.
Andreas,
I don't have it.
Is the one that you send us with the first draft of the competence map about the Greek?
No. It's another file. If you give me 1 minute, I can find it.
I think we are fixing concept here. We are talking about EQF level 4 and 5. We are going to agree on which verbs to use when we describe the learning outcome and how to describe a learning outcome. Or here it is. What is a level 4? What is a level 5?
Yes.
Moment. I found.
Can you see it?
You just scroll down.
Can you see it?
Learning outcomes? Yes, we see
Yes, yes.
learning outcome. Scroll it down more. What is the knowledge? What is the skills and competence? How to describe the skills, knowledge, and competence. And then there are some examples. So everyone agree with this file, then we speak the same language, okay? We don't have to learn now, but it's just an example. So can you send it to everybody as soon as we finish the meeting, please?
Yes, of course. And now we have to decide about module 6.
Yes.
Yeah, Andrea, if I can just explain about the module 6.
Yes.
We thought about the module 6 because looking to the rest of the modules, we saw that we were missing a part that was really focused on the EU organization. So how the EU organization will help in case of emergency if one of the country of Europe will kind of need like a European assistance in case of fires or emergencies. So with Gianpaolo, we already know this association because we had some other kind of project with this association. So we have materials for that, and we also thought that we are 5. There are 5 modules, and we are 6 partners. So we also thought that have like kind of easier also divide.
We lost you.
Thank you.
Sylvia, we lost your words, so can you repeat it again, please? Because there is a connection problem, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, sure.
Again.
Again, we can't hear you.
But you're right. It's
Oh, okay, sorry. So I said that module 6,
We lost Sylvia.
but she explained in the document.
can
Yes,
you,
yes,
Yeah, okay. She's saying that we have 6 partners, so we have
yes.
can you
6
hear me now?
models.
Yes,
Plus,
Oh, okay.
yes, Sylvia. Now, yes.
Yeah, and I was saying that rescue, basically, we already know it like as LARES because we already work with that. And it's basically the European mechanism of civil protection. And we also thought that we have all the modules about competence and skills, but we don't have anything that it's really focused on how EU mechanism works in case of an emergency from a country that is part of the EU. So we have materials for that. Definitely we can work with that. So we thought that we are 5 we just have 5 modules and we are 6 partners, so it would be also maybe easier to divide the modules if we have 1 each, or but that's up to you. That's just an idea, and just we thought that it was important to have something about Europe as part of the
okay,
competence and skills to know.
thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, so we have to decide if we have 6 modules. Do you agree with the 6 modules? For example, I agree. I like the idea of Sylvia's, and I think that that it is important to have all of this.
How do we justify the 6th module? Again, we should justify the 6th module at the end of the international report, saying that the needs of the target groups are suggesting also to become more international in terms of rescue operations and so on. Okay, so we should write a small 2 lines of text at the end of the international module saying that basically we opt for this module instead of another module. Okay.
Yeah, I think that the right idea about like writing at the end of the international report that there are some gaps, but also we can add that it's a European project, so it would be like nobody, of course, asked for this kind of knowledge, but we thought that it was important for everybody that it's part of the EU to know maybe also this kind of mechanism of civil protection. We can, of course, add it like few lines at the end, so we can justify that.
Yes, Sylvia, but we have to justify why we are closing the gaps with this module instead of painting a motorcycle. We have to say why. And that has to come from the survey.
Okay.
Maybe we can use the proposal, the need to improve coordination and cooperation with all the organizations and institutions involved from the international report.
No, I think in international report you can add that, like Sylvia was saying, we are going to create an international module, a module which is going to make closer basically all the civil protection internationally, considering that we are doing an international project. So what to do, what to call when there is a need for international support. This is a good justification.
Okay. So,
let's move forward. Next. Sorry for taking so much time, but I think it was important to discuss it.
Okay, so I'm taking my notes. So we are waiting the last version of this table from Andreas, and after Andreas comments with the new row, we will generate a framework for all modules which explain the learning outcomes, the content, and the aims and objectives briefly. And I think the job division that you did, Sophia and Andreas, I think this is really, I mean, fine, because within this 6 module, the module 5 is the only one that we can write. So if the partners are really happy with this task division, so this seems that module 1 for Oikopolis, 2 is for GTU, 3 over Forma.
Sorry, Sarah, one moment. It's just a suggestion. You can change. Okay.
Yes, I mean, if all people are happy, we
Okay.
will create the framework and the content of the modules by also keeping in mind the partners' abilities.
Okay.
Because if you give us the like the coordination of shutdown operations, we don't have any idea about that one. So,
Okay.
so if this is okay for everyone, we will go for this. Okay.
Okay.
Can I make a comment? Actually, in IO2, there is written in the application that not all the partners, naturally, like you said, Jerai, we are fully competent about fire protection and so on. We are not. So, but there is an overview, should be an overview from Lares and Portugal, I believe. They are the two top expert organizations on over protecting us based on the development work we are going to do.
Okay. So yes, for sure, we will ask a specific comment from Sylvia and Daniela.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Well, that should be starting from the learning outcomes, from the competence map. And then we, like Jerai said, we are to preparing the first step. We are going to prepare a framework in IO2. That framework, again, with the aims and objectives and content, shall be developed as a draft by each partner according to the distribution of the modules. And then if you agree, if everybody agree, we send it back to Daniela and Sylvia, basically, just to give an overview, not in details, an overview if there are major problems with the module, okay?
so what will be the deadline of all of it? Do we need, how many days we need for it? For example, is it enough 10 days to do all of this? At first, Andreas will have to finalize. After that, to work each partner to.
Sorry, Sophia. I understood that I will not finalize this. I'll send to Serey,
To check.
and Serey will finalize it. Am I right, Serey?
Yes. Actually, Andreas, you will create a table. With,
Yes, okay, for that.
like, I mean, by addressing the specific competences.
Yes, and
Then-
I'll send it to you.
Yes,
and,
because
and to
I
all.
mean, this will be a kind of a roadmap, as you mentioned. What is the competences and what is the gap that we have to fill? And you have to decide, I mean, as the creator of the EO1, you have to decide that there is a gap in terms of competences and it needs the following modules. Then we will suggest to, I mean, this is the like the rational path for creation of EO1 and EO2 together, because the main logic for a project is the outcomes of the previous output will be the inputs of the next one. So I think we have to be in like a kind of side by side doing this together. So
Okay.
Okay. So.
It has to be fixed properly now, otherwise later on we have to spend too much time to redo things over and over. If we fix the learning outcomes now properly, then in IO2 we know exactly what to develop. So you, Sophia, you were asking for timing. I'm looking at the Gantt chart. So what is the time to finish to finalize
I
IO1?
have, sorry, Elmo, in the agenda, we must finish all EO2 at the end of December. So we have
IO1.
EO1, we are out of deadline 1 month. It was in the end of April, and we are out for 1 month. So it's
So the question is,
we
do
must
have an
run this
IO1?
week. We must run this week if it is possible
Okay.
to finalize it in this week, and after that to define the modules. I think if it is possible to finalize all of them in the 10th of June, what do you think?
What? 10th of June, the competence map.
No, early. If we have the competence map 10th of June, we define the modules and we can start to work in your tool.
So we complete the competence map, let's say, by the first week of June. So then we are ready to start IO2.
Yes.
Okay, if Andreas sent the competence map in first week of June, we need additional maybe
1 week.
1 week. Okay, so mid-June, the 15th of June will be our deadline to share the framework with you for the creation of the modules, okay?
Yes, it's very good. Yes.
Okay. But by that time, maybe Daniela and Sylvia, we can ask your quick
yeah.
view, and if you say all the contents are okay, and of course Elmo, Ia, and Theo, we can generate the second draft or the next version. And if you are all say okay, we can publish it on Google Drive. Then partners will can create their own content.
Okay.
In
Yes.
English, in English. When to finish the framework?
I said the 15th of June will be okay for us.
No.
No?
The framework for the modules. We start creating the modules. When do we need the modules?
To finalize everything for them. I think at the end.
I think Sophia Elmo is probably talking about another issue.
In the middle, we need 1 month more to develop the model. Or
Moment. Yes, exactly. We are talking about this. So by the middle of June, we are ready to start developing the modules. For how long? Question mark.
for 1 month.
In English. For 1 month. So in 1 month. So by the middle of July, we should have all the English version of the modules developed, including the framework. So developing the modules, that means developing the framework in a digital file and developing the online system, the online module in Google Drive, in OER. So just a second, then there is an implication with IO4. So that means
Elmo.
in July, beginning of July, I'm reading the Gantt chart. If I have to finish the module, by the middle of July, I need the OER, I need the open educational resource to implement the module.
Yes,
the module gets implemented in 2 ways.
Elmo,
The first
sorry.
way is okay.
Oh, sorry, because I interrupt you, but we have to translate the modules. Parallel.
No,
No?
no.
Why?
Because the products are created.
Upload.
The products are created.
Okay, I hear you.
The products are created in English, all the 6 modules, as a digital file, as a framework, as an online file in English.
Yes.
When all the 6 modules are developed in English, then it's a green light to translate in national languages. But first of all, they have to be finalized in English.
Yes.
So if we finish all the files in English, all the modules in English, by the end of July, for example, just a second, I'm reading the Gantt chart. By the end of July,
We need
then
to,
we can do the testing.
because it, yes, the first.
Then we need, moment, correct. Then we need August and September for translations, and we can start the pilot testing in October for 4 months.
Yes,
That's what is written in the Gantt chart.
yes,
So all the English online modules, online here, I'm talking about OER, okay? To be completed by the end of July. Translation, August and September, considering that August is a month of vacation, August and September, let's say the first week of October. By the first week of October, we should have finished the translations. And then we can start the pilot testing, which is IO3, which should start in October. Pilot testing can start at the middle of October for 2-3 months. So I'm suggesting also to IA, which is leading partner for
yes.
IO4 and IO5. Game, we have to think if the game is going to be ready in part by October, and also OER to be ready by July, because the first implementation of training modules in English, they will be ready in July
I think it is for the next year.
next year. No, 2021.
No,
Yes. '21.
okay, I'll check.
2021.
Okay, and now I think now we have to focus in mapping at the modules to finalize, to define the modules, to start the work, and after that I'll have a plan to send to all of you about the deadlines.
But please don't write a lot of things. The plan should come out from the discussion we have today. And the plan should, the minutes of the meeting of today should be clearly stated about IO1 to be completed the first week of June. Sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Moment. So we said IO1 to be completed by the first week of June, and then to be refined, final by the 15th of June, according to Gerai's suggestion. I'm talking about the competence map. And then from the 15th of June till the end of July, till the middle of July, people develop the module, the training module, in terms of framework, and in terms of online development with OER. So this is a competence. IA should support us on creating the OER environment. We can discuss it. We can support Training 2000, can support GTU, okay, to do this. And so that means by the end of July, all the 6 modules in English are online, finalized by the end of July. That means in August and September, and maybe the first week of October, we do the translation of the 6 modules in Greek, in Italian, in Georgian, in Portuguese, and they are all ready by the middle of October. At the middle of October, we start pilot testing in national languages, because we need the courses in national languages. Yes.
Pilot test
Yes, exactly.
22. Pre-pilot test in the beginning of 22. Okay. So we have time till
Elmo,
Sorry.
I'm trying to catch the deadlines. So for now, I have 3 deadlines actually. The first, the 7th of June, Competence Map final version. The 15th of June, the framework for all modules. And the 15th of July, modules will be ready in English.
yes, okay, this is
As a digital files, Chirai, as a digital files in the framework, but the full implementation in English should be by the end of July. Online,
Okay.
they should be finalized
So-
online,
July means, okay, so
end of July. Sophia, can you show the competence, can you show the Gantt chart, please?
yes, because I think you say something.
No, send it again.
Okay, I hear.
okay, so Elmo, you said that the end of July modules will be on OER platform.
I think
Moment.
No.
Let me read here.
it's difficult. I think.
No, this is okay. Moment, stop there. I'm reading the second part of the page. It is exactly what I said. IO2 should start in March in the pink color and should finish in December. 2021.
Yes,
The pink color.
yes,
Yeah, so IO2. The pilot testing, blue color, don't move, leave it there. The blue bar, IO3 pilot testing, should start in October and should finish in February 2022.
March.
March 2022, sorry.
Mm.
So if we start at the end of October, that means we start in November, we pilot test for 3 months, then we feedback and we collect national reports and so on, and that's it. So I'm perfectly right. My timing is correct. So that means the dates I gave you so far is good. The yellow bar is the IO4 for the open education resource. We open in June, from June till November. So that means OER should be ready to implement the modules in English and in national languages. IO5, which is the gaming, is where OER is mainly involved, should start in March and should terminate in November 2021.
May.
Which month? May.
May.
Yeah, we have
Sorry?
started.
May, yes. May and should finish. It should finish in
November.
just a sec,
Yes, and the
November 2021.
year has started to write the same.
Elmo, I think we can discuss these issues a bit later because I think till that day we will have too many meetings. But the most important thing is to decide the deadlines for the modules, module contents, and moving the module content to the OER platform. Because after the summer holiday, that will be really like we have to repeat this as well because probably we will all lost our notes and we will
No, we don't lose our notes. It should be written very clearly in the minutes of the meeting, just a second. But because we are in June, just a second, the date of June does affect IO2, IO4 as the OER, which is started already last month, the month of May. So the person coordinating IO4 should be aware, and the coordinator should be aware what is going on with IO4 at the present moment, and the coordinator should be aware of what is going on with the IO5 at the present moment, because it started already from May. So I'm sorry, but all jobs are correlated, are connected between them.
yes.
Okay. So,
There's no point to develop, the training modules if there is no open education DOE are available to implement. Where do I implement? So I'm not saying we are rushing here, GTU and so on, but at least here should be aware that in July we need the platform basically to implement all the 6 modules in English first and then in national languages.
Okay, just one question from my side. We have to finalize the modules in English till 15th of July. And the question, which type of document should we prepare? A PowerPoint or a PDF or a Word document?
We have to decide about it.
From the framework, I think you can share the framework. You are, Jerai, aware about the framework. The framework is the frame listing basically all the
Yes, we will prepare the framework as a Word table, but I mean the main content of the modules should be a PPT or a PDF or Word. Yeah, what type of document do you prefer to transfer the OER platform?
No matter for me, because I can upload as PPT, as PDF, as Word, everything I can upload. So we can decide. No problem.
Okay, so
for
I
the
think
type of the
PPTs.
For example,
it's okay.
for example, in IO2, did you mention about H5P interactive tool? I don't know, you better check, Jerai.
I
So
think,
is it-
I mean, H5Ps, if we do not have any, like the Moodle or something like the online education platform will be the web page or a different one, yeah?
Web page.
Web page, okay. Maybe Elmo, for a web page, H5Ps will be a bit hard to manage. I'm not expert about this. Ia is the professor, but I don't know. I think PowerPoints are easier.
But you are just adding interaction with the user, nothing else. It's a PowerPoint.
Elmo, I'm not the person for H5Ps, please. I mean, I think everyone, like, let's decide later after having the
fact that this is a pedagogic aspect. Let me put it this way. We can also write 20 pages of text, upload the 20 pages of text, and that's it. Not PowerPoint, nothing. But the question is, how effective is to get people to read in a smaller screen 20 pages of text? So we have to create a flexible material,
yeah,
appealing
that's why
material.
I said PowerPoint is a good option.
But H5P is much better because it is interactive. That's what I'm saying. So I just oppositely I'm giving the example of 20 pages of text. It's boring, it's very boring. 40 slides, 50 slides of PowerPoint is very boring again. So if we implement in H5P.
Yeah, if we gave you as the plain document, can you make them H5Ps for the OER platform?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
I can do.
Yes, we can do it, but we have to do it.
Okay.
So the partners have to do it, not here.
So, sorry, excuse me, because maybe you have at other meetings, I don't know, other works, we must discuss some things more. So we must run. Thus, that we want to have the competency map, define the modules, and after that we have to think about the way that we have presentation, PPT, video, etc. We can think about it and decide later. What else we
not decided later, excuse me, this is the focus of the meeting. The focus of the meeting, we have to get the conclusions. Someone, at least we have to promise in the minutes of the meeting that the leading partner for the IO2, together with the IO4, basically, to start a discussion, to initiate a discussion between the partners to decide on which way we are going. This is the focus of our meeting today. I know I have a meeting also in 20 minutes. You have another meeting maybe and so on, okay, but still, we spent 1 hour and a half here, so we have to take decisions. If we are not able to take decision here now, we have to write down in the minutes of the meeting the two leading partners. For IO2 and IO4, basically, we start a discussion, and we start some kind of activities to decide in which way we are going. That's why we have the leading partners for the intellectual outputs. That's all.
So, okay, we decided about all of them, I think. We decided the deadlines, the way that we work, everything. It's confusing if we repeat, sorry. For
It's
me.
not confusing, we have just to agree, we have to agree. It's
Okay,
not confusing, we have to agree.
so I will set the minutes about this meeting. Very difficult to write all of them, but I will try. Okay, because we will finish EO1, we have to finish the time sheets. I don't know if you did that or not, if you created that. I uploaded the time sheets for Ecopolis in Google Drive. You can find them. You can find the template about it if you need. And I think you need 1 week to finalize your time sheet. Okay.
Okay.
You can advise the Annex 2 that you will find your days that we spent for EO1. Do you have any questions about the time sheet? Okay. So about the newsletter, thank you very much, Ray, for the newsletter. I think now it's ready to upload in website here, the newsletter, and to disseminate in our websites or in Facebook, etc.
Okay, I will upload it.
Okay, this is what I have.
I have
Nothing.
one question regarding the newsletter. We have to translate the material, right?
Yes.
So we have a deadline for the translation or not?
Not yet. I had, but so moment. Deadline about the translations. I think it's the end of October. Oh no, I changed it. I would like to check again about the translation because at first we have English material uploaded to our platform, and after that we have to translate. So
Okay.
it's later. Okay. Anything else? Now we have some time, 10 minutes to repeat what something else, to add something, to any comments? Okay, so we have a lot of work to do. Elmo is frozen, so he's absent now. So for me, it's okay. Thank you very much, everyone, that you.
Yeah, sorry. I think you forget to ask our partners about
Oh, yes.
the meeting in Athens.
Yes, very, very important, very important. Elmo is here. Yes, kickoff meeting. Right. So I think the big problem that we have to say about deadlines, about etc., is that we have meetings, short meetings, virtual meetings. If we had a kickoff meeting together, 2 days together to be face to face, all of them we have finalized. So the question is, when we have the first meeting in Greece, is it possible for me? Is it possible to have this? It is possible to have this meeting in the beginning of July, but maybe is early, I don't know, or in the beginning of September. What is your opinion? We can organize the first meeting in Greece, 1st to 5th of July.
Actually, Sophia, from our side, we haven't vaccinated yet. And probably we will be vaccinated like around, this is the best option. We will be vaccinated around September because government is planning to open the universities in September. So I hope they will do this. So June is not a good option for us.
Yes.
So what do you think to say in the first week of September? Because I think it's important to have a meeting together.
Yes, the later is the better. So if you postpone till end of September or the beginning of October, that will be great.
Okay.
Because if we haven't vaccinated, it is not possible to go to Greece.
It's a problem. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
We need all the partners to be safe and come here. Okay, this is the first
And
priority.
if you organize the kickoff meeting without us,
No, of course not, of course not. Elmo, your voice, your microphone.
We miss you, Gerai. We miss you, Gerai. We cannot
yes,
do it.
I miss you too, really. I just want to give a huge hug to everyone. So I miss Ia, Elmo. I haven't met the others before, but just we are planning to make our luggages as quick as possible. Even Tuba told me that she doesn't need anything. We can buy everything in the country, but we need to go to the airport as quick as possible. So we really miss you.
So we have to postpone the meetings 2 months later because we don't know, we don't want to lost some meeting. We need all the meetings. So okay, we will think later. We will decide later. But I suggest you, Serey, and I think, to find a way to vaccinate earlier, if it is possible, as you can.
I mean, in our situation, it is not our decision. The government will just call us, and we are going to the vaccine centers. So.
Okay, Sylvia, is okay for you?
Yes, actually, I'm kind of in the same position as Gerai, because I was about to get vaccinated with the civil protection a few months ago, but then they stopped the AstraZeneca vaccine. So I had to wait my range of like from 20 to 29. And here in my region, they said that they're supposed to open the vaccination to 20 to 29 in a few weeks. So probably I will start my cycle of vaccine at beginning of July, mid-July, something like that. So if it's gonna be in September, it's actually better for me as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but if you're doing it before that, probably Gianpaolo or Danilo will come and like in my like to replace me, but whatever it's gonna be, it's fine for us.
But
we will find a way to be there.
We need
no, we miss you. We miss you.
So
I want September is way better.
I want all of you to come in Greece. This is
but definitely September, it's a better choice for us as well.
I think we must have vaccinated to travel. Eh?
Yeah, I think so.
20 people from Italy, yes, 20 people.
What, Elmo?
20 people coming from Italy, yes.
I didn't say 20 people come. I told about Sylvia, about Elmo, about Camille, of course.
I have my apartment. I have my apartment in your house.
But of course, Elmo, welcome. Everyone who is vaccinated will come in Greece. But I am not fun to vaccinate. You can come. I have a problem. But the law says that. For me, it's okay. I have a problem. So
are you vaccinated?
Okay, so I have to leave because I have another meeting in 11 minutes. So the deadline, the date is the potential date for the kickoff meeting is
beginning of October.
Okay, perfect.
End of September. End of September.
It's okay, the same.
No, beginning of October is much better because if everything will be fine, we have another 6-day joint staff activities end of September, Sophia. So let's say the first week of October.
Okay.
No, it's too late.
Priorities to be safe.
The deadlines that you send in the chat, they're the official ones for the for the chart and the modules, or we need to revisit them, or like the ones that you sent? I think that you sent it, or yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
I sent them, and these are the deadlines that Elmo
Okay.
suggested. So
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
yes.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay. Someone to say something?
Just a second, just a second.
Oh,
About the potential meeting.
what?
If it is about the meeting in Greece, if it is, for example, if it is the last week of September, by that time we have all the modules translated in national languages. So we have the possibility to discuss, to focus the meeting in verifying the content of the modules before starting the pilot testing. So that is good. But in October, it's already too late because we have to start the pilot testing.
Elmo,
If it
only
is
6
possible,
days.
just okay.
Only 6 days, so I think that won't be too
Just
much
is-
difference. I
Just a
will
consideration.
be of you and Uzo when I came in October. But if we came in September, you have to pay our dinners. So just
Paying a dinner to the Turkish people is never a problem because you eat only
not the
salad.
only Turkish people, all the project partners. So
So you have to dream when you come to Greece. Thank you very much for the meeting.
Thank you.
bye.
Excuse me, just one consideration.
Say, I hear you. Elmo.
Not too late in the meeting in October or November. The next Erasmus Plus is the 1st of November. Deadline 1st of November. So not to push into meeting international meetings when people are busy to design applications. That's why, for me, for example, August, September was nice because then it becomes too complicated, too many jobs, too many activities, overlapping one to the other. But we have time to decide about it. Okay, thank you.
For me, for us, for Greece, it's we can organize the kickoff meeting in July, after the end of June. But I don't know. Some people can travel with test. With
No, that is
Staff ne zaman başlıyor, ne zaman bitiyor?
going to be September, October.
okay.
End of September, beginning of October, but the sooner the better.
Yes, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Okay, I
Ciao,
asked,
ciao.
sorry, I called Tuba because, you know, she's the, she got some news from the vaccination, and she said probably they will vaccine us at the beginning of September. So if we organize something like mid-September, maybe that will be okay for us. So like 13th or 14th of September.
Say, my name is 17th of September. You will be in Athens 17th of September to have a big party for you.
Okay, so
You will bring
Guys,
the
now
Mira
then,
tea.
Sophia,
Yes.
my birthday is in the 22nd, so we will have a big party.
Great. So we fix.
Okay, Silvia. Okay, a lot of
okay,
drinks.
I have to leave, guys.
Great.
Lots of kiss. See you.
Andreas, we need to take the picture, or you have it already?
Theo is responsible for pictures today.
I didn't take one. Just wait a minute. Smile, please. Smile, please. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
One more. It's okay. It's okay. One. It's okay. I forgot it because.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
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 Έλα, θα σε δούμε σε λίγο, στο πλοίο που λέμε. See you, Elmo, later. I hope.
Read the chat.
I hope
Mira,
that
Sofía.
yes.
Έλα. Bye bye, Elmo. Ciao.
Elmo, I
No,
don't know.
just a second, just a second.
Just a
Wait
second.
here. Yes.
Yes.
Can you check the chat?
Yes, yes, 17 of September.
Yes, I told you. My name day, 17th of September.
Ναι.
Moment.
Okay.
Can we fix for that week? Can we?
17th of September, and you must prepare my gift.
What? What?
You have to think what gift you will give to me.
No problem. For me, money is never a problem.
Serei told Uzo.
Uzo, I have.
Γεννήρα εκεί.
Uzo is for Elmo, not for me. But I have my gift today. Okay.
For Elmo is grappa.
Yes, Theo, thank you.
We have a meeting again in 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. But I am not sure. Okay, bye. See you.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Έλα, φύγε.
Σοφία,
Ciao,
εγώ
Theo,
που να
ciao.
είμαι, δεν πρέπει να είμαι.
Όχι. Go.
Όχι. Okay.
Χασάν ο Χασάν λέει πρώτα οι κυρίες και του λέω ότι αν φύγω εγώ πρώτα, χαμός έγινε. Αυτός ο Έλμο μερικές φορές δεν τον αντέχω, δεν τον μπορώ ρε παιδί μου.
Είπες τη λέξη Χασάν.
Ναι, ο Χασάν λέει πάντα πρώτη σε κυρίες, Σοφία, και του λέω ότι αν φύγω εγώ πρώτη, στόχλησα, αλλά δεν το καταλαβαίνει.
Οπότε δεν έχουμε τίποτα άλλο, μπορώ να δουλέψω τώρα.
Ναι, κάνω ό,τι θέλεις. Έχω meeting με την άλλη, πρέπει να καθαρίσει το μυαλό μου.
Αύριο θα πρέπει να είμαι, αύριο που πάμε Κερατέα, θα πρέπει να είμαι στο απόγευμα που είναι με τις Θεσσαλονίκες.